Welcome back to the Jordan Davis podcast. I am your host, Jordan Davis, and welcome to this brand new episode of my podcast. And if you've noticed, you can actually see me this time doing a podcast because I'm doing an on-camera podcast. First time ever for my channel, and I've been thinking about doing this for a long time. I really was. I wasn't sure if I should do it or not. Should just keep it to the audio podcast on YouTube, or maybe I should do it on camera. So I just thought, let's try something new. Let's try something that you can actually see my face and actually interact with me. Actually see more engaging podcasts and a more engaging channel. So tell me in the comments, do you like this on-camera podcast, or do you just like the audio version of it? So comment in the comments, tell me what you think, and I'm really excited what you want. So I think it would be very helpful as my subscribers and followers and all of that. That would be very cool, and I would be very thankful if you did that for me. But let's get into the podcast. We're going to talk about some Star Wars today. I haven't talked about some Star Wars in a while, and to be honest, it's pretty slow lately with all the COVID and the lockdown and everything with Hollywood. But there's some stuff to talk about, some Ben Solo stuff. I'm going to talk about how Ben Solo could come back with the World Between Worlds, and also I'm going to talk about some Anakin Skywalker. There's a rumor going around, I'm not sure if it's true or not, about him returning in the Obi-Wan series. And I think if he does return, I think that's going to be very exciting. So let's get into it right now. So I want to start with the Anakin Skywalker story first, because we haven't really seen Anakin Skywalker in live action in a long time. To be perfectly honest, we haven't seen him since The Revenge of the Sith. Live action Hayden Christensen Anakin Skywalker. And I'm excited for that, because you go back and you really look at those prequel movies. I don't think he really got comfortable with that role until Revenge of the Sith. I mean, we got him into Attack of the Clones. There were some cringy moments for me for Attack of the Clones, but I really like it. I like the romance. I love the romance, love story, kind of Attack of the Clones of it. But when you get to Revenge of the Sith, you really feel like Hayden Christensen has a hold on the character. And even though the writing is still not the best, I still think it's the best Anakin Skywalker we've ever seen. Because you can't count Vader. I mean that's, you just can't. Actually, Anakin Skywalker, with everything we see in the prequels, Hayden Christensen got that role right in Revenge of the Sith. And I think there's a lot more you can do. So the rumor is, in Obi-Wan TV Series on Disney Plus, you are going to see Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen, in all of his full-on glory. And so the rumor is that we could see him in flashbacks, kind of like the flashbacks we've seen in Clone Wars, but just in live action. We really get deep into the brother relationship that ends so tragically in Revenge of the Sith. But we get into these flashbacks with just how close and brotherly that they got in that war, in that Clones War. And I think that would be such an amazing thing. such an amazing thing that bringing back Hayden Christensen would be, would be terrific. It would instantly put it on my top list for Disney Plus shows I'm most anticipated for. And I think the story you can do about how Obi-Wan really changed his mind on Anakin Skywalker. Because if you just think of it, what if he found out, oh, he's alive? Maybe I can truly bring him back to the light. And when he has this confrontation finally with him, or you bring Darth Vader into this, you realize he can't do it. The Anakin that he knew is gone. He's toast. No pun intended. But I think that would make a lot of sense if we did get that with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that leads into the original Star Wars trilogy of why Obi-Wan thought there was no way you could redeem Anakin Skywalker, because he tried with all his might, and it just ended up in pain and heartache, and that he is truly gone. His best friend, his brother, is gone, and all that's left is a machine. And so that would make Luke Skywalker's importance in the original trilogy even more important, because he saw the good in his own father. He saw what Obi-Wan could never see. That little Anakin Skywalker, the best part of him is still in there. And you can see that Luke saw that. That he was the only one that saw that. And it would make it even more special. But yes, you would make it even more tragic that Obi-Wan just gave up on him. But you would see the reason why Obi-Wan told Luke about Anakin Skywalker the way that he did. And I think that would just be a really cool thing to do, because you would be really giving depth to the reasoning, giving depth to that relationship. And I think that would be really cool. And with it being a TV series, there's so much you can tell. There's so much storytelling that can go into this TV series. And to be perfectly honest, I think this is going to be better than a movie, because everyone wanted a movie. Everyone wanted to see Obi-Wan Kenobi on the big screen again. But to be perfectly honest, it just makes it better to be on TV, especially the budget with Disney Plus. They're going to give Obi-Wan Kenobi a movie budget, not a TV budget, a full-on movie budget, and they can really, really go at it, and can really do some awesome and cool stuff that, I mean, sure, you can do movie budgets, sure, you can do big movie things with Obi-Wan Kenobi, but you're not going to be able to tell the story you want to tell in a movie, because you only got about 2 hours. Sometimes you got 2.5 hours, if you're lucky. But with TV series, you have about a 4 to 6, heck, even maybe you have an 8-hour movie, if it goes that far. So I think there's a lot of things you can do with this Obi-Wan series, that adding Anakin Skywalker into this as flashbacks, then at the very, very end you add Darth Vader. I think that's going to be wonderful. I think that's going to be awesome and exciting and thrilling. All the things you can think about just having Anakin Skywalker will make, like, so anticipated this TV series will be. And just thinking about it now really gets me excited that to see how that would play out. So yeah, I'm excited for it. If this rumor is true, as we should all say, take it with a grain of salt. It's a rumor. It has been announced. Probably would have been announced if Star Wars Celebration was going on this year, which it wasn't because of everything going on in the world. But I do believe this rumor could be true. I do believe that some way, somehow, Anakin Skywalker will be announced. I think he will have a big role in this TV series if he's in it, because it just makes sense for a storytelling aspect of it. So, yeah, I'm really excited. But tell me, what do you think about all of this? About Anakin Skywalker, with how he can be a big role in this TV series with Obi-Wan, and how the relationship in this TV series could lead into the point of view of Obi-Wan Kenobi in Episode 4, and how this TV series came to that point in Episode 4. Something like that. So yeah, just tell me in the comments, see what you think, and I would love to hear what you have to say. So, talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi, let's get into another Ben. More younger and with better hair Ben. Ben Solo. As we all love him. We love Kylo Ren and Ben Solo. So, there's an interesting thing going on with Ben Solo. Been watching, clips of Ben Solo, the very little clips that we got, and it's still to this day, it boggles my mind how Ben Solo just ended to me. Because I just think there's so much you could do with Ben Solo. There's so much, story you can do with Ben Solo. And I just don't know why they didn't have the foresight, and I'm talking about Lucasfilm and Disney, why they didn't have the foresight to think, oh, we can use Ben Solo in novels, we can use Ben Solo in games, we can use Ben Solo in future movies. And personally, to me, I think Disney and Lucasfilm rushed the whole sequel trilogy, even though we got awesome parts like Rey and Ben, we got Kylo Ren, we got so many great things to look towards. We got The Last Jedi, which to me to this day is my favorite Star Wars movie. Last Jedi, favorite Star Wars movie, because of what they do with Luke, what they do with Kylo/Ben, what they do with Rey is amazing, and you have to thank Rian Johnson for that, and makes me even excited to the Rian Johnson movie. So we might talk about that another podcast down the road. But a lot of people are talking about Ben Solo, about he could be in the world between worlds. And that's like very, very, Star Wars-y kind of in-depth thing, that Ben Solo could be in the world between worlds, and that's where he is. And people are speculating that there's different portals to the world between worlds. And in the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker dictionary, that there are portals to the world between worlds on Ahch-To and Exegol. As we all remember, Exegol was where Palpatine was. So maybe he is in the world between worlds out of space and time and all of that. And theorizing that's how he comes back through the world between worlds. But I think for that to happen, I think we need more information on the world between worlds. I think there's a lot of ways that you could bring back Ben Solo, and certainly the world between worlds is a good one to do if you're going to bring him life to fully. And you're doing an adventure with Rey, you do another trilogy with Rey. Or maybe you just do another trilogy with Ben. That this time it focuses on Ben totally. You know? That his motivation is to get back to Rey, but he has these obstacles that are in his way, and that we get more in depth. We get, because in the sequel trilogy we got a lot of Kylo Ren, and Kylo Ren is my favorite character. He's way better than Darth Vader. He's better than, in my mind, in character in the Star Wars universe. That's just what I think. Tell me in the comments below, what is your favorite Star Wars character? I would love to know that. Of all of the characters we have ever seen in the Star Wars canon universe, what is your favorite character? But that's Kylo Ren, and I would love to see more Ben Solo, because the amount we saw of Ben Solo, it's just so much potential. And if you could do a movie that focuses just on Ben Solo, and to be honest, if you're going to do Ben Solo, you got to do a trilogy. And I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't. I think particularly you're hearing a lot of actors, like the person who plays Finn, he wants to move on from Star Wars. Daisy Ridley, she probably wants to move on with other stuff than just playing Rey. Same with Adam Driver. Even though he is best, he played the best character, he was the best actor in all of the sequel trilogy Star Wars movies, I think he wants to move on. But I do think there is a possibility he could return, and all of that. And I think it could be really cool if he returned. Many things you can do. Maybe you can have Ben be a guidance to Rey. When she needs guidance the most, Ben appears to her as her dyad. And that's one option to go if you don't want to go full in on the Ben Solo. That's the one option you can do if you don't want to have a trilogy of Ben Solo, which I wouldn't know why you want a trilogy for Ben Solo, but I mean, that's an option. But I think with Ben Solo, the only kind of Ben Solo I want to see that would really excite me, truly, would be Ben Solo post Rise Skywalker. That's the only kind of Ben Solo I'm really interested in. Because we know all about the young Ben Solo, how he turned to the dark side, and you keep doing more stories of that. I mean, that you're just playing it safe. You really are. You're playing it safe. And maybe you could do, Kylo Ren and Ben Solo between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Okay, yeah, I guess that would be interesting, but there's going to be no interesting part of Ben Solo that everyone wants to see until we see Ben Solo after the Rise of Skywalker. We see his turn. He goes back to the light. And because you can do some interesting things with Ben Solo still. It's like, he fully can't go back to the light, but he's not going to go back to the dark. So you can have Ben Solo be this kind of Han Solo with a lightsaber and maybe trying to do good with everything that he did bad as Kylo Ren. Maybe he makes up with everything, tries to fix the galaxy. That's another option, or another option is that while you have one story of Ben, obviously this would take place in the old trilogy, you have Rey having trouble with her Palpatine tendencies. Because to me, Rey hasn't fully accepted who she is. She's still wearing a mask, in my opinion, as Rey Skywalker. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some Rey Skywalker fans out there. Totally good. Totally good. I'm happy that you like Rey Skywalker and how that outcome happened. But as my followers and as my subscribers know, I'm not. Really not. I think there could have been different things. You could just call her Rey. Just call her Rey. She doesn't need a family. I mean, she just wants belonging, and that was Ben Solo. She gave her that belonging. And so, I think if you can do some like dark Rey, go into more dark Rey, it really showed that Palpatine-ness of her, and she started to lose herself. I think that would be really cool if you did. And as we're, having more Ben Solo, maybe have more dark Rey coming about. So, as Ben Solo starts to rise and come back into the land of the living, Rey starts to meet him with Dark Palpatine, and the only way that Ben can stop that Dark Palpatine is that he comes back and saves her, just as Rey was saving Ben from Kylo Ren. I think that would be really cool. So many options you can do. That would be, very, very good to do. I think any post Rise of Skywalker Ben Solo content would be wonderful. Wonderful to me as a Ben Solo fan, and wonderful to all the thousands and millions of Ben Solo fans. I really do. There are great things you can do with that. And I'm excited for that. If we could get some more Ben Solo post The Rise of Skywalker, and we can get more of that character. Because yes, baby Ben Solo is cute. Yes, he's cute. But I think we need to have more. I think that's a character that we too short of. We had him for way too short of time, and I think it'd be a great idea. One way to bring a lot of fans back, because we don't know what's happening with Star Wars. I mean, we know the Mandalorian, and yes, we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series. And obviously you've got the Rian Johnson trilogy whenever that comes out, which I am